Oh, Ron, do you remember this song? And in the egg,
And in the egg,
there was a bird.
there was a bird.
The prettiest
The
bird
prettiest
that
bird
you ever did see.
that you ever did see. Was a bird and the egg and the egg and the nest on the branch and the branch on the tree and the tree and the hole in the ground and the green grass grows all around and the green grass grows all around.
You remember that?
No, child, I don't remember that song. But I remember something that we learned in class about the levels of biological organization and how the steps go with, every step. And how it connects. You don't want to talk about that, Curtis?
I'll set up on the phone.
But we're going to talk about what we learned in class.
Okay.
Alright then.
With the levels of biological organization, our question is it possible to skip a level and make it to the next emergent property? First, you would have to understand what each level is and what properties emerge with each one. This is the Earth. The first level seen from space is our biosphere. From there, organisms and their specific environment bring rise of ecosystems. Within each ecosystem is a community, where mixtures of different groups of species live in a geographic location. Breaking down communities, you get populations, groups of individuals of the same species living together.
These individual living things are organisms. Each organism could have organ systems, which contain the organs of the body. Tissues are the parts that make up organs, and cells, our unit of life, work together to carry out all activities of an organism. Within cells, there are organelles, which are things that work together to carry out a specific function inside the cell. Molecules make up the organelles and hold properties that allow them to do certain things. Molecules are made up of atoms, which are the smallest units of life's chemical makeup. Under atoms are subatomic particles. They are even smaller. Protons and neutrons, as well as electrons, are found within each different atom.
Let's take a look at a few organisms. Plants and animals normally always go through each level of biological organization and make new emergent properties along the way. Some examples would be trees and birds. Dana Barry, the journalist who wrote the article Chemistry, stated that the most important parts of a tree are the crown, the stem or trunk, and the roots. The crown is the top of the tree. It has leaves that act as the organ systems, much like a human stomach. These leaves are made out of tissues. And for birds, according to John Burstein, author of Birds, these avian animals have tissues that build muscles that are used for flight. Another organ, called the gizzard, acts as a second stomach which grinds up food into particles they can digest and use as energy needed for flight.
But again we ask, can something that is classified as life skip a level of biological organization? The answer is yes. We split off at individual organisms and find a tiny organism that is composed of cells but does not contain things like organs or tissues. It's bacteria. Bacteria is one known exception in the levels of biological organization that skips many levels but still makes it to the new emergent properties by jumping from organisms to cells to molecules and continue on down from there. An organism doesn't have to be a part of every level of biological organization to be considered as life. Just as long as it responds to an environment, uses energy, has order and structure, regulates heat, adapts and evolves, grows and develops long enough to reproduce. It is life.
So now, Curtis, do you understand?
Yeah, Rhonda, I finally get it. It's just like in the song how one thing builds on the next, and that's emergent properties. Then you have the examples of the tree and animals, like birds, who can have all these small things combined to make one big thing. And then you gave the example of bacteria, which I had no idea was so different, but how it misses organelles, and it still comes together to do the same things. Again,
That's good. Now, aren't you glad that we did this instead of learning the song?
I guess so, but the song was still funny.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Curtis, and I did the Galileo research.
And I'm Katrina, and I did the book research.
My name is Rhonda, and I covered the website detail.
I'm Eris, and I covered all the technology and the notes.
And if you have any questions, do not ask us, ask your
Teacher.
Teacher.
and we approve this message.
Yay!